Welcome back. Today we are talking about one of the last books that I read. It is a classic. I wanted to get it read prior to watching the new release of the movie. We're going to be talking about Wuthering Heights by Miss Emily Bronte. I rated this a 3.5 out of 5. I'm a little Johnny-come-lately to this party. There were definite aspects of this book that I enjoyed more than others. I enjoyed the dark and descriptive tone the story unapologetically took to drive the plot. There was no sugarcoating or glossing over the actions or events that happened. It is reminiscent of Edgar Allan Poe, and I can see how all the goth girlies and maybe people who like all that spooky or not necessarily prim proper girly type aesthetics. The story is told from multiple points of view, and it also goes from childhood. It goes from childhood from Catherine and Heathcliff to their children. I had to spend a little more time than I would have liked to discern whose point of view some of the chapters are coming from. I wanted to read this book, as I mentioned, so that I could watch the new movie with Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi. I love a good compare and contrast moment. I wanted to see the differences, see the liberties that were taken with it, and I was 100% here for Heathcliff's petty shenanigans. He's dedicated to the revenge of all who wronged him, and he was wronged a lot throughout his life. I understand how going through what he went through by going through some of my own trials and tribulations in life, as everyone does. You can understand how being cold-hearted or wanting someone to hurt as much as you hurt. You can definitely understand where he's coming from. I think the switch was flipped because he wasn't necessarily always like, I'm going to get these people who wronged me. I think the flip was switched when he wanted to run away with Catherine and she wouldn't go with him. So there's a lot of class differences in this story. There's a lot of angst. There's a lot of social commentary about those systems and how they're not working. So we have Heathcliff, who is a petty revenge artist, here for it. And we also can't speak about Heathcliff without speaking about Catherine, and her actions are driven in part by social ambitions, which initially are awakened during her first stay when she goes to the Linton, which eventually compel her to marry someone other than Heathcliff. However, she's also motivated by impulses that prompt her to violate social convention. Her heart is with Heathcliff, and she has said so as much. However, the draw to social standing, the draw to money, the draw to the good life is a reason that she won't pull the trigger and run away with Heathcliff and be with him. And he's like, look, we can go wherever. We can run away. We can be together. We'll find somewhere. We will make it. But she would not do that. That's why period pieces, it's hard for me to look back in an 1800s story lens with a 2026 viewpoint. The overarching themes are still there. I cannot imagine being in love with someone else and marrying another person, just regardless of the time period of my social standing. That is one issue that I have, but it is a resounding theme in a lot of literature, a lot of different things. A lot of people, forbidden love, can't be together. It's a big plot story device for a good reason. I liked this book. Like I said, this is a classic for a reason. I want to be critical of it because, it was difficult. Mostly I was sitting there and thinking, okay, I really had to discern whose point of view these were coming from. My perspective's going to be different than Emily Bronte, who wrote this book. I enjoyed that it didn't pretend. It didn't pretend that all was hunky-dory. It didn't pretend. What I like to say is I don't like someone who will tell you that a heart is a spade just to keep everyone happy. Like, a spade's a spade, a heart's a heart. I'm going to tell you what's what. And that is my take on Wuthering Heights by Miss Emily Bronte. It was an enjoyable read. I'm gonna go watch the movie. Comment. Let's discuss. What are you guys reading? Subscribe, like. Hope you guys are well.